Good afternoon, viewers. I just wanted to share my unboxing of the European night crawlers I just received from Midwest Worms. I already have Euros, but they are in a hodgepodge mix of worms in my urban worm bag, and I want to have a bin of them separate by themselves so I can do some comparison videos to the other types of worms I have separate by themselves. I have a couple of bins of red wigglers. I have 2 bins of Indian blue worms. I have a bin of African night crawlers, and I have a bin of Canadian night crawlers. But the Euros I don't have a separate bin of. They are in the urban worm bag mixed in with some of all the worms I just mentioned. That's a hodgepodge, go crazy feeding frenzy in there. So I ordered a pound of worms from Midwest Worms, and they just arrived. Their tub isn't ready yet because these were scheduled to be delivered tomorrow, and they came a day early. And I want to give a big thumbs up to Midwest Worms. They shipped immediately, and unlike most things these days, these arrived early rather than late. And I haven't opened them yet, but I'm going to put them in this little, I have this little casting collector that came with my Worm Factory 360. So just to show them to you for right now, I'm going to open them up and put them in there, and their tub will be ready in about an hour. I'm just letting them, the cardboard soak in some rainwater. So let me pause the video so I can undo the bag, and then I'll get right back. Okay, I've snipped the zip tie off the top of the bag, and I'm going to dump them out. I will say I just watched a video, a YouTube video, showing how Midwest Worms manages, sorts, packages, etc. their worms, and I was incredibly impressed. That's what made me choose them when I was looking for more Euros. And again, I was just so impressed with how the care and the attention and the thinking that goes into how they ship their worms based on the moisture level of their bins at the time, the distance the worms are going. Every batch is handled a little differently, and several things are factored in. So I was impressed with what I've learned of the company so far. And now I'm going to dump the worms out here. See some of my butternut squash that have gotten a little decrepit here from the garden. Worms are going to love this. Oh, I thought I dropped one, but no, I didn't. So again, this is 1 pound of Euros, and I know from watching the video they put 1 pound plus a few extra ounces for a variety of reasons. I'll put a link to the video. And they ship them in a combination of the bedding and castings that they were raised in, and then they add some calcified dusted peat moss. Again, that's based on the video. Oh, I have terrible poison ivy, which is why I have all these bandages everywhere. I've been scratching it to death, so I decided to cover the blisters for it. I'm on prednisone. So here's the worms. They've been sitting outside on my porch for a couple hours, and it's 40 degrees here, so they're very cold to the touch, but oh my gosh, these are big Euros. These guys look great. Normally, you know, worms always dehydrate some in the shipping process, which they should do. They're kept dry intentionally because too much moisture allows them to die in transit. But, you know, as they do, they obviously balled up together, but dang, these are fat Euros. If these are dehydrated, then I can only imagine what they are going to come to be once they get settled in their new home and have a nice bit of food. So that's not all of them. I mean, there's several little mini balls here. I will do this video very shortly and pick back up on it once I get them in a bin, but Just wanted to show you what they look like coming out of the bag. These are really nice, healthy, fat worms, and although they're very cold, I can feel them on my hand, they're really cold. They won't die at 40 degrees, so actually it's 44, it's telling me now. They won't die at that, but they certainly become much less active, and despite that, they're still moving. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you. Just, telling you a little bit about that I got them and what my intentions are, which is to have them in their own bin, where I got them from, and I will put a link to the video from Midwest Worms. It is very impressive, and I highly recommend watching the video, and I'm going to recommend them to anybody who's interested in buying, because look at this. I mean, look at this bedding. It's phenomenal. There's absolutely no insects. There's nothing but worms, and the smell is awesome. I mean, I know that's a strange thing to say about worms, but if you raise worms, you know exactly what that means. And they're plump. So I'm sure once they get in their new happy home, they're going to be devouring what I give them. So, okay, I don't want to traumatize these guys anymore. I'm going to give them a little bit of moisture until they get, we already have a climber. I'm going to give them a little bit of moisture just to rehydrate them until their bed is ready. Plump them back up, although they look pretty darn plump. It only took 2 days, 3 days maybe to get here, but it went nearly across the country, so I'm really impressed. The post office finally got themselves on track here. So I'm going to spray them with a little bit of water, rainwater. I only use rainwater because I don't have a well. I have city water, and it has chlorine and fluoride in it, and I just don't think that's something that worms benefit from. I don't know if it can harm them, but it certainly can't help them, and it's not something they would experience in the wild. So I save rainwater when it's warm enough, and once the snow begins, I collect snow and let that melt inside. Okay, I'll do a follow-up once they are in their new comfy happy home. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.